Mentioned something about your kids before. Would it make you proud if they got more into acting, that kind of thing? Do you hope that they follow in your family's footsteps and so on?
My kids, Alexandra keeps kind of saying things that make you feel that there's this air of inevitability about it. And I find myself pushing against that. You know, and saying that you don't have to do that. There's, you know, I want you to be an engineer or an astronaut, or I don't care what, be a school teacher, be something. I don't want you to you know, feel that kind of. I never felt that way. I still feel like I might not be an actor. Like maybe I'll be something. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll do something else. I never felt like I had to do it. Now I kind of look back and I think, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense that was. It probably was inevitable, but. I'm proud of them if they are, well, happy is such a weird word, you know. Of course you want them to be happy, but I want them to be fulfilled. I want them to do good work. I want them to be contributing, even if it's, you know, Alexandra at one point said she wanted to get an agent because she had done this community theater, and I love the community theater. She was started out as like the 3rd orphan in Annie, or like the 8th or 12th orphan in Annie, and she was great, and she loved the communal kind of experience with the other actors, and she developed real kind of stage confidence. But, you know, that's what she did on Thursdays, you know, for 3 months, and then they did their show for 2 or 3 nights, and then that was that. She had all the rest of her experience, and I had this feeling that if she was to work professionally more consistently, it would just rob her of all these great things she's got going on in her life and her school and stuff. So, but now she's of an age where I look at her and I think she's grounded enough, she's strong enough in her mind and her spirit and her values that if she wanted to do something like that, now it wouldn't be as hard for me to get enthusiastic and supporting her. But I must say that I feel very protective and careful about them, and because at one point I said to her, you know, there's no, we're not the Barrymores or anything, you know, we all have our careers and we do great things and we do fine things and we do crap and we do, you know, whatever. But as soon as she does one thing, it's global. It's global. There's a global Lord of the Rings fan base. There's an international like casting kind of focus that happens, and I don't want her to get hit with that. Until she doesn't care what the results of it are. If she doesn't care, if I know that the results of that are going to be whatever they're going to be, are not going to affect her negatively, or if it's worth the risk, then it'll be fine with me. But if she just does it kind of not knowing, not realizing what, because it's annoying, you know, you can, if she doesn't do that, she retains a kind of, the younger kids are too young for me to even think about it. I think about it in terms of Allie, you know. And I wanted her to play Eleanor, and I wanted her to have that for the rest of her life, and nobody can ever take that away from her, right? But I didn't necessarily think that was necessary, you know, was a springboard or a kind of command for her to then, you know, live up to that kind of a thing moving forward. And people's attitudes and kind of impressions of what expectations or celebrity or fame or even acting or who you'd act with or what kind of shows or movies or plays that you do, you know, it can really screw people's heads up. And my daughter is not going to have that happen because she's a really solid person, but I feel like my father was determined to make sure that I got a formal academic life alongside of my life as an actor, and kind of primarily, and then life as an actor was fine. So I feel like I'm not as sophisticated as my father was in you know, instilling that or whatever, but I have the same value system, and I'm about the business of doing it. Short answer is I'll be proud of them whatever.